We have always heard and we have always been taught that the presidents are the symbols, they are the flags, they are the portraits in public places, they are also the faces on our money, the money tender, the money you and I spend daily. But pressure strange things to people. When you are responsible for wars, economies, and millions of lives, you need an escape, an escape route, or the job hits you alive. People think that power is loud. They think it announces itself with speeches, with motorcade, with flags flapping in the winds, and cameras flashing in perfect formation. They imagine presidents as monument stone faces carved into history, unchanging, unfeeling, and forever serious. But what you need to know is that power, real power, is really exhausting. And behind every polished speech, behind every firm handshake, there is always a human being quietly looking for somewhere to breathe. So this story for today is about those quiet places, because when the doors closed, when the crowds disappeared, when the weight of the nation settled heavily on tired shoulders, American presidents did not become more powerful. Instead, they became more human, and that is where this story begins. Long before America was confident, before it was loud on the world stage, there was George Washington, a man who had won the war and could have rested forever. But this man was strong, really strong. He was so strong to the extent that he did not like rest. Restlessness lived in his bones. This man returned to his land, not as a hero seeking comfort, but as a farmer chasing mastery. He washed the soil the way generals washed battlefields, testing, rotating crops, refusing to exhaust the head the way kings exhausted their people. And then, quietly, almost mischievously, he built a whiskey distillery, which was one of the largest in the young nation. There was no pressure, not for pressure, it was for order, for sustainability. Washington believed that a country should feed itself, that it should fuel itself, that it should stand on its own legs. His hobby was not escape, it was preparation. Even in peace, he was building. Then there was another man called Thomas Jefferson. He was a man whose mind never sat still long enough to sleep peacefully. He collected ideas, music, botany, engineering, name it. Everything fascinated him. His home, Monticello, was not just a house, it was a living thought. Bookshelves that rotated, tools redesigned to work better, notes scribbled in codes only he could understand. Jefferson believed ignorance was the real enemy of democracy, and so his hobby was learning. Endless learning. He was so hungry to learn where others thought comfort, and he never stopped. Then decades later, the world again trembled under depression and war, and Franklin D. Roosevelt carried the burdens heavy enough to bend a steel. Economies were collapsing, armies were marching, the entire futures were uncertain, and in the middle of all that noise, Roosevelt sat quietly with stamps, small things, ordered things, piece of history no bigger than a thumb. Stamp collecting gave him something the presidency could not. control. In a world spanning widely, storms stayed still. They reminded him that history moved in stages and that chaos could be organized, that nothing lasted forever, not even crisis. Crises do not last forever. Sometimes survival looks like something very small. Power wears people down, even the generous. Wait, do you have any of these hobbies? If you have any of them, leave your comments down in the comment section, and I will see you in the part 2 of this video.